human rights, dear sisters and brothers. The government in Hanoi says protests against the violation of human rights in Vietnam are an illegal inference, an illegal influence. The internal affairs of Vietnam. But we say protests against the violence of human rights in Vietnam are our duty. Such protests as here and today are an obligation of all democrats and of all human beings all over the world.
Chị này là ở Canada có hàng.
Dạ không, các nơi hết.
Một cái nhóm này là
You can read this
Đức, Ý,
sentence.
Canada.
In the last years, Vietnam has a lot of success in protection and in promotion of human rights. This is uncontestable, says the government of Vietnam. And the same government says too, the Communist Party and the state of Vietnam take care about the rights of people and take care about the freedom of people. But if you have a look on the website of Amnesty International, we find these news. For instance, seven news from the website of Amnesty International in the last month. Number 1, 4 peaceful activists arrested in connection with long-detained human rights law. News number 2, female activists sentenced to 9 years in prison. Number 3, missing human rights defender at risk of torture, nhân. News number 4, necessary medical treatment denied to prisoner, nhân. News number 5, hundreds of peaceful marchers attacked by police. Number 6, activists beaten in Connect Right. Number 7, the repression against Vietnamese activists. Ladies and gentlemen, the reality in Vietnam today is this. Vietnam is identified as one of Southeast Asia's most prolific jailers of peaceful activists, a shameful title no one should aspire to. Over 2017 and 2018, Vietnamese Communist authorities intensified crackdowns on the peaceful exercise of the human rights to freedom of expression, assembly and association, as well as thought, conscience and religion. These prisoners of conscience are all brave women and men, including lawyers, bloggers, human rights defenders, environmental activists, and pro-democracy campaigners who have been robbed of their freedom for nothing but promoting human rights. What is worth is this number is likely an underestimation. It's impossible to know the exact figure, given the shroud of secrecy the Vietnamese Communist authorities operate under. We urge on the United Nations here on this place and the international community to, firstly, demand that Vietnamese Communist government to immediately and unconditionally release all those prisoners and conscious held in detention. Secondly, to demand Vietnamese government to cease adopting Chinese communist policies of forced cultural assimilation and social re-engineering focused on the Vietnamese and other ethnic minorities throughout Vietnam. Thirdly, hold Vietnam Communist governments accountable for its abhorrent human rights record and demand that these basic rights of all people under Vietnamese control be respected. Fourthly, stop applying the cybersecurity law immediately as exercising the freedom of expression in the most basic rights of all humans. And finally, apply applicable treaty measures, including stripping of its Human Rights Council membership if United Nations recommendations continue to be ignored or disrespected. This is a truth in Vietnam today. Vietnam's human rights record remains dire in all areas. The Communist Party maintains a monopoly of political power and allows no challenge to its leadership. Basic rights, including freedom of speech, opinion, press, activists and bloggers face harassment, intimidation, physical assault and imprisonment. Farmers continue to lose land and development projects without adequate compensation, and workers are not allowed to form independent unions. The police use torture and beatings to extract confessions. The criminal justice system lacks independence. State-run drug rehabilitation centers exploit detainees as laborers, making goods for local markets and export. Nevertheless, increasing numbers of bloggers and activists have called publicly for democracy and greater freedoms. And we today, we do the same here and now in Geneva. Human rights for Vietnam, we shall overcome. Thank you very much.
Human rights for Vietnam, human rights for Vietnam, human rights for Vietnam, nhân quyền cho Việt Nam, nhân quyền cho Việt Nam, nhân quyền cho Việt Nam.
Thưa quý vị, sau đây thu sư với Hoài Hoàng Quân sẽ trả lời với quý vị qua nhạc phẩm Triệu Con Tim. Xin quý vị cùng hát với lại thu sư và Hoàng Quân trong cái đoạn điệp khúc nha quý vị.